WBSX. Christ is King.
I'm gonna come.
I've got bad news for you. You're Jewish.
What is that?
Shut up, silly woman.
I like how you.
Oh, look at my African American over here. Look at him.
I don't really care, Margaret.
Stay off the weed.
The white man is back, baby. The white man is back.
Oh, son of a bitch.
We're gonna win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're gonna win more.
What is going on, everyone? Please do let me know if you can hear me, because I am on a whole new setup now. I mean, not whole new, that's overstating a little bit, but we are now coming at you live via OBS. Good, you can hear me. Excellent. Who knows what sort of funny things may occur, but I decided, I was doing some research trying to figure out how to solve the problem with Kick dropping the streams. And basically everything I looked up said use OBS, that this is a Streamlabs and Kick issue that a number of other people are apparently having right now as well. So said use OBS. All right, fine. I've been putting it off for long enough, but it seems as if that must happen. I did not bargain for just how many things I was going to have to change in switching over to OBS. I've got a whole new soundboard. I had to purchase a plugin for a soundboard. I actually think it's going to wind up working better. It's a little bit snappier. It's way easier to add things to it. Before, I had to go and edit a bunch of stuff with the file itself and then move it over, and then there's kind of a weird little process of uploading it. Kind of felt like I was in 2005. Now I just drag and drop straight into the app, and then I can adjust the individual track itself within there. So, yeah, no, this is not why I had a migraine yesterday. I've been fighting off the migraine all day today, and I think I've barely got it at bear. This was my intent had been that I just gave myself a whole new migraine working on all this today. My intent had been that I was going to do basically a full-length labe this afternoon to catch up on some of the stuff I had in the backlog, and then do the pseudolabe. So a Saturlabe followed by a pseudolabe. Yeah, I ate up a whole bunch of that time. I even thought maybe I'll get to bed at a decent hour tonight. But I ate up all of that time futzing around with getting this whole thing set up. In the long run, I do think that it is going to be better, though. I've got to try to come up with a solution for streaming to X, because I added a plugin here to do multi-streaming, and I tested it, and it's not working. That was where I gave up trying to set things up. I was like, I can get it out to Kick. Did a test stream with Kick. Didn't drop one time. All of the settings all look good to me. I've even got a little thing on the dock now where I can track my CPU usage and the frames dropped, average time to render frame, a whole bunch of these things. So I can keep an eye on the stream a little bit better now. And it's going to enable me to do a few other things. So it was a change I needed to make. I finally got forced into doing it. And thus far, fingers crossed, it seems as if it has resolved the Kick stream freezing up issue. I went for about 25 minutes earlier with 0 issues. Been going for 45 minutes now, no issues. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed and hope that this solved the problem. Because I don't want to go back to YouTube. That's really going to be a pain. Patchy the Kid says, wife is wondering if Matt, Kingpilled, is a regular household name for everyone else, too. A couple of the guys, including Patchy, were saying in the chat that they're, when they head off for the live stream, their wives say something snide about their internet boyfriend. I am proud to be your internet boyfriend, fellas. I never ever thought that I would say that sentence in my life, but here we are. Okay, let me think here. I do have some stuff here before we get to the pseudolabe. I do have a few things that we're going to go through. Just some hopefully kind of rapid fire wins. This is including a bunch of the ones that I had to drop out of the last labe because I just ran out of time, and as well as some new ones that have appeared since then. So we'll go through all of those, and then I'll probably take just a quick break, and then come back here, and we will pseudolabe tonight. We have the Christmas Part 2 from our great propagandist, and he said this one might be his craziest one yet. So make sure you guys stick around for that here a little bit later. Please do tip your streamer. I know it's the holidays, and you got a lot of money you're spending on the family, but if you can spare a few shekels for your boy here, even if it was just $5 a piece from everyone watching in the live chat right now, $5 a piece from each of you would make for a happy Mrs. Kingpilled. So please do hit the tips link, tips.kingpilled.com, or you can go over to Cash App and Venmo at Kingpilled, or buymeacoffee.com/Kingpilled. Any of those options. And if you use one of the ones other than Streamlabs, then let me know in the live chat here. And I've got my phone here. I will check it and give you credit. Eastwood wants to give me $5. I appreciate you, buddy. That is wonderful of you. I love you, man. See, even my son's trying to do the work here. We're $1,700 away from halfway to having a baby. So if you want more Ericssons, want us to make more Ericssons, then you got to bribe us to do it. Fill up that streamer salary bar this month and next month, and we will do it. So, yeah. Okay. I think that's all I've got for now. Making sure that everything here is connected and set up right. I guess while I'm on this screen, just let me test this real quick. Let me know if you guys hear this.
No, we're not doing that. You're getting called a slur. I don't know which one. Whichever one I feel like saying at the moment. You're getting called a slur.
You guys got that? Okay, excellent. Excellent. So that is working. That is set up right. Oh, boy! Hello! Alpha male alert! Howie Snowden! Patriot! Was there no music with it? No sound with it. Interesting. Okay, hold on a second. Hold on 1 second. Let me think about this. Let me think. I can figure it out. I'm a big boy. If I go to, I believe it's in properties here. Is that it? Control audio via OBS. We'll try that. And okay, there we go. So then now it should work. Music didn't play and the voice didn't read it. It just got me dancing like I'm sucking two cocks. That's you know what? In honor of my Patriot president. Did the graphics show up on the screen? Did you get that? I want to make sure because this will narrow down the whether I can fix it right now or not. Yes, the graphic did show up on the screen. Okay, so I think that the audio problem should be fixed now. My next problem is that I've got to come over here and watch my tips separately because they don't directly integrate the same way that... Let me see if that... No, it doesn't let me replay it here. But they don't it doesn't integrate into OBS the same way that it does with Streamlabs. That was one thing I did not... I checked that the sound and stuff still came... I checked that the animation would play, but I forgot to check the sound. So I don't have a way, I don't think, of replaying them. All right, so you guys will just we'll have to test the audio on it with the next one, and I'll see if there's a plugin or something that I can use to put this on my dock. But it was Howie Snowden. He said, "Me and Mrs. Snowden have been together for 10 years as of today." Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate the $100 Alpha Male Alert super tip. Screwed Up Nevsky, thank you for the kicks. Also, Pale Morning Dude sent some kicks. And welcome to Shaniqua Shiboon. Just following the channel. Sounds like a patriot to me. Thank you to Screwed Up Nevsky for gifting a sub earlier. And Jukebox Wizard, congratulations for that. Sounds good from Kicks. Okay, excellent. Perfect. Okay, there we go. So now I know future ones that come through, the audio should play. Jeff Accordion, thank you, man. And then I just have to come up here to reread them if necessary. Oh, that reminds me. There was another one, and I wish I could replay these. Well, the gayest man in the world showed up yesterday. He had faith that I was going to do a stream, and I let the man down. But he sent frickin' $200. $200 from Gabe Johnson. He said, early Christmas present for our favorite streamer. Thank you, my friend.
You know, Dave Johnson is the gayest person to ever walk this green earth.
So true, so true. Did that audio come through right? I guess I need to check all of these now. Did that audio come through? It works. Okay, perfect. Yes, excellent. Mrs. Kingpill says, we've been dating for 10 years in February. That is true. 10 years. It's hard to tell whether that's like, wow, it's been 10 years, or if it's like, whoa, it's been 10 years. Like, has it gone by really fast, or does it seem like ages ago? Very interesting. Thank you guys. Thank you for the tips. Thank you to Howie, and congratulations to you and Mrs. Snowden. Eastwood wants everyone to know he saw the Grunch today and told him he's not allowed to steal Christmas gifts anymore. Yes, Eastwood got to see the Grunch. This is what the great villain of Christmas. He got to see the Grunch, and don't worry, everyone. He let him know. He let him know your Christmas presents are safe. Eastwood is getting started on on protecting and defending the traditions of his people. Yeah, kids hate the Grunch. All my homies hate the Grunch. Okay. There was something else I was thinking of that I needed to check. Pale morning, dude!
$5 for me, $10 for Eastwood.
Thank you, sir. $15 tip. You hear that, Eastwood? You just got $10. You just earned yourself $10 by helping out dear old dad on the stream. I got audio on that one. Excellent. Patch the Kid says saw a Walmart ad earlier using the Walmart version of the Grunch. Corpse really leaning into the meme culture. Well, that's good. It sounds like we're winning. It is funny that if you think about the characteristics of the Grunch, just kind of stop and think about them for a few minutes. Probably not even a few minutes. You're gonna start listing off characteristics, and you're gonna go, oh, another one. It's another one. Why is it that there's this consistent theme with like every villain ever in every children's story? Isn't that interesting? I wonder why. Must just be a coincidence. I don't know. Got to get Gaga to be the Grunch and snatch up Eastwood. Yeah, Gaga's not going to be picking up Eastwood anytime soon. Eastwood is a tank. He's got to be like 55 pounds or something. He's huge. Amy and I went and looked in at him while he was sleeping the other day, and sprawled across the bed, legs hanging most of the way off. He's the most chaotic sleeper in the world. And he, the Giga Gaga. Yeah, Giga Gaga. We're looking at him, we're like, holy crap. How did he get so big? Periodically, we're like sending pictures back and forth to each other of him when he was just a wee little fellow, all chubby and everything. Now he's gigantic. Huge 5-year-old. We just got to get that. We got to get that honed in and disciplined and controlled and directed. That's why he started doing jujitsu. The Santa denier epidemic is a problem that we need to solve finally. Well, you know what? I'll bet you my president's going to solve that for us. My president and his administration are going to solve the Santa denier epidemic. All Santa deniers are going to get deported. We're spinning up the deportation game. It's not just a game, folks. It's for real. We're spinning up the deportation industry to make it happen. Pale Morning Dude says $10 from Eastwood since he didn't have $5 to give. Oh, thank you. You were what is it called? You're stepping in for him. You're servicing his debt for him. Very nice. You hear that, Eastwood? You just gave Daddy $10. Okay. So let's get started. Let's make sure that this one works. Woohoo! Looks like it works. And let me just double check that this is in here. So it's in there, so it should work. The alert box for tips and stuff should work on this as well. If it doesn't, then you guys will let me know. All right, so there's that. All right, so first of all, little tease both for something soon to come, as well as something else soon to come, from our great propagandist, Trump 47 Year 1 preview. We're going to get a Year 1 preview. Let's go. That's my president! That's my vice president!
Captain Planet, Arab Spring, LA riots, Rodney King, deep fakes, earthquakes, Iceland volcano, Oklahoma City bomb, Kurt Cobain, Pokemon, Tiger Woods, MySpace, Monsanto, GMOs.
Thank you! Brilliant, brilliant. He always hits the spot. You know what you're doing, man. It's terrific. Check this out. The Instagram provocateur cowers when the real public schizo rolls up. Andy Milanakis sighting. I haven't seen that guy in forever. I didn't even know he still existed.
I need some funny... Yo, boss man, it's mandatory for you to learn Arabic by January 1st. It's the mayor...
A Muslim and Hasidic Jew.
Assalamu alaikum.
I was born Hasidic Jew, and then I converted to Islam because Jews are faggots.
Oh. Hello.
I am a Jewish Hasidic Jew, and I'm gonna tell you right now, alhamdulillah.
Is there audio?
You must sacrifice every thought, every ideology for the good of the nation and for the serenity of our fatherhood.
God, I hope there's audio.
Hail Trump.
The end of that. You can see why. You can see why I hoped you had audio, because I didn't want to sit there and listen to that whole thing by myself. Thank you, Ankles Behind Ears, for the $10 tip. This is what it sounds like when you bang a Tourette's chick with epilepsy. Oh, man. Thank you, Ankles Behind Ears, for that. Thank you, Mr. Adjut Propagandist. Tremendous.
Faggot?
Yeah.
I just did.
Yeah, but would you
faggot.
Okay. I'm a faggot ass nigga. That's why I converted to Islam. Blessed be to Muhammad. Fuck the Jews.
Be safe out there, boss.
The look on his face. Nigga, what the fuck? Oh, we gotta hear that one more time.
Alhamdulillah, I'm a faggot ass nigga.
I kind of want to meet this guy. I kind of want to see what's going on. Just like follow him throughout the day, see what sort of things he gets into. Oh yeah, that was going on the soundboard for sure. For sure. No question. I actually got to make sure I leave myself a note for that. Because, yeah. Hold on here. I'm going to write a note called, quote, I'm a faggot ass nigger. There we go. Okay. Next one. Oh, yes. 40-year-old suburban mom. Oh, boy. I sure hope I'm giving my 10-year-old son a phone. Will be good for him. And this is her son's Instagram Reels.
Martha needs you to solve this quadratic equation to enable the cloaking device so the T-50s don't find us.
This is easy as fuck, bruh. Just plug it into the quadratic formula.
Go ahead. Try it.
Wait, what the fuck? How am I supposed to take the square root of a negative number, bro?
There's this secret number in math called I, and if you square it, you get -1.
How is that even possible? Sounds like a psyop by the Jews.
Let me finish. It's not a real number. I is what's called an imaginary number.
Oh my god! Fake and gay.
Actually useful, my child. What happens when you multiply a positive number by -1 on a number line?
It rotates 180 degrees to the other side?
That's right. So now imagine you have a new imaginary number line at a right angle with the real one.
Oh, I see. So multiplying by I is like a 90-degree rotation instead?
Exactly, my son. So now we know the principal square root of -1 is I. Let's finish solving that equation.
So we end up with the square root being equal to 14i?
So the final answer is 6 ± 7i.
Wait, what did you say, nigga? 6 6-7!
You know, I have long given credit to the great Salman Khan for getting me through college calculus classes. And little did I know, I just needed Yaqub. Step aside, Salman Khan. Here comes Yaqub. Oh, and there's another one.
Agartha needs you to solve this differential equation to increase the Aryan birth rate.
Gang, what even is this shit, bro? Where even are the numbers? I thought this was math, not English.
My child, what happened to you? Here, drink this.
Oh shit, I'm back. Thanks, Yaqub.
If the partial of m with respect to y is equal to the partial of n with respect to x, the DE is exact.
Okay, and it looks like the DE is exact, so what now?
The solution will be of the form f of xy equals c, where the partials of f with respect to x and y respectively will be m and n.
Oh, I see. So we can integrate this with respect to x to get the answer?
Don't forget that since y is a constant with respect to x, we need to add a function of y as the integration constant.
Oh, but now we can take the partial of this with respect to y, and now we have an equation. Oh, look, it turns out g of y is 0 anyway.
Well done, my son. You have made Agartha proud.
Those are the only words I've ever wanted to hear in my life. Well done, my son. You have made Agartha proud. This is remarkable. Like, I'm experiencing what it is like to be old on the internet. Because now I'm just, like, I don't even understand how something like this gets created. The minds of the memers, especially the upcoming memers, must be studied. We must study them through their memes, as difficult as that may be. Agitprop Master in the chat said, the kids are going to call us millennial fascists, the most brutal names for how soft and homosexual we are compared to them. No kidding. Imagine if this is what the kids are watching. Straight Buster says, first in my bloodline to see Yaqub explaining math to Aryan Charlie Kirk. Our lives have been forever changed. Agitprop Master said, this is what our children's buddy cop movies will look and sound like. Incredible.
Welcome to the Gulag. If you survive, you earn your freedom.
Han Pritcher, thank you for resubscribing, sir. You're a patriot. Oh, let's see here. End of Indiana Jones, but it's all energy drinks, and anyone who doesn't drink white monster bursts into flames. Yes! Make it! It must be made! Trust Planstar says, I don't know the lore behind 6-7, and I refuse to learn. I'm officially old. Yes, I don't want to play the game. I don't want to play that game. I don't know what the game is, but I can tell that there's a game, and the point of the game is to make me the sucker in the room, and I refuse. I opt out. I'm not that old. I'm old enough to recognize the game that's happening. I just don't understand the game. Straight Buster, you're really adapted to the brain rot. I was born in it, molded by it. By the time I saw a green text, I was already a man. Says the Zoomers. Okay. Let's keep this going. Oh, I could not play this one. This is must see for the Labe. This is must play content on the Labe. Brett Baer's annual rendition of Rapper's Delight. You know how they told you the white man is back?
Right, America, we love you, and we rock and roll to the summer sun. We can rock to 101 years old. I don't mean to brag, I don't mean to boast, but I like hot butter on my breakfast toast. Rock it out, baby bubba to the boogity bang bang, the boogie to the beat. Heat so unique. Come on, everybody, dance to the beat. I was walking home late in the dark afternoon. Reporter stopped me for an interview. Said she's heard stories and she's heard fables. Vicious on the mic and the turntables. This young reporter I did adore. So I rocked the vicious rhyme like I never did before. She said, damn, fly guy, I'm in love with you. Cast over ledge, it must have been true. I said, by the way, baby, what's your name? Said, I go by the name Lois Lane. And you can be my boyfriend, you surely can. Let me quit my vocal called Superman. He is, I do suppose, flying through the air in pantyhose. He may be very sexy or even cute, but he looks like a sucker in a blue and red suit. I said, a hip hop, a hip, a hip, a hip, hip, a hop. You don't
And they say white people have no culture.
Special report number 1. Special report gonna rock.
Ian Rhodes is going to tell my kids this is ancient Celtic folk music. Imagine if his ancestors could see him right now. Aristofag! There he is. The Aristofag and a couple other gay guys. That was tweeted by Ambassador Mike Waltz. He and Eminem might be one of the best rappers. Yeah, the whites perfected rap. That's right. I saw something the other day that I didn't even know I don't know how it made me feel, but it was Owl City featuring Toby Mac. I don't know who thought that needed to exist in the world, but now that I've heard about it, I kind of regret to inform you guys that it did need to exist in the world. Owl City featuring Toby Mac. I'm not going to play it for you. We got a Greg Bovino sighting. It's a wonderful flight if you book with CBP Home. Since it's the season of giving, here's our gift. A gentle reminder to illegal aliens that you can collect $1,000 to head home before you have to be deported there. We're keeping watch this holiday season so our fellow Americans can rest easy. We gotta let Mr. Greg Bovino know that hashtags deboost your reach on X now. So you can leave the hashtags off, but otherwise, it's a banger.
Christy, get me back. I don't care what happens to me. Get me back to my wife and kids, please. I want to live again. Yeah, please.
This is what I found for Get Me Home to My Family. You can self-deport with the CBP Home app and earn yourself $1,000 and a free flight home to your family for the holidays.
Now this is Christmas spirit. This one here from the Homeland Security account.
This is my house. I have to defend it.
This is our homeland. We have to defend it.
Welcome to the Gulag.
Straight Kino.
If you survive, you earn your freedom.
Thank you, Skudubnevsky, for the gifted sub to Straight Buster. Congratulations, sir. I've got one for you. How about this one?
You want to fight? Better believe you've got one. You want to enslave my spirit? No! And I'll call on God to protect me and use me however God sees fit.
Patriot. There's a my soundboard is all mixed up now from where it was before, and there's some that I don't have, but then there's some that I was able to add. Because I've got a different setup now. So I'll have to get some more in here, ones that I remember. What was another one that I just added? I'll find it. Hold on. Here you go. I don't know why I added that one, but I just like the sound of it. So I'll just play it every once in a while. Okay. Also, from the Homeland Security account, this Christmas, our hearts grow as our illegal population shrinks. I am getting things I didn't even imagine I could vote for. This is Christmas after mass deportations. Mirth Nuke! It's a Mirth Nuke from the DHS account. Yeah, Straight Buster, this is the kind of shit you post when you know the demon rats aren't getting back in power. The only thing I don't like about getting mirth nukes from the DHS account and knowing that our guys are deeply embedded. The only thing I don't like is that they aren't everywhere in the government.
I don't understand all the talk on Twitter about so-called heritage Americans. I drank 3 liters of cow urine and signed a pledge. I'm just as American as any of you. Also,
thank you, rapid fire butt kernels. The $10 tip. Oh, this is great. I kind of miss having it right down here where I can read it. So I'm going to have to figure out if there's a way I can do that. Because, like, cocking my head back to try to see it up here every so often, that ain't where it's at. Thank you, rapid fire butt kernels. We've gotten from Gave Johnson, Howie Snowden, Pale Morning Dude, ankles behind ears, and rapid fire butt kernels. Was there a glitch? Or are you just talking about the on the message there? Yeah, Kate, Santa deniers get deported. Final snowlution for Santa deniers. So true, Mr. Butt Poop. So true.
Our religion is based.
I like this. This soundboard is a lot quicker. It's there isn't a delay when I hit it. It's very nice. Okay. Jack D. Quillen, the individual behind LA Scanner and Jack Quillen TV, has been arrested and is now in jail as a convicted felon after 6 months after he was exposed for doxing ICE agents. Jack D. Quillen is the individual behind the Los Angeles-based news account LA Scanner, later rebranded as Jack Quillen TV on X. He's been arrested following months of controversy involving posts about federal agents. He had previously urged followers to send him photos and real-time locations of ICE agents during active operations in LA, including the hotels where ICE agents were staying. Multiple posts explicitly instructed users, if you see ICE, DM us a pic along with the location. The posts sparked widespread backlash and accusations of doxing, with critics warning that the disclosures could endanger federal officers amid ongoing protests. Following the controversy, he briefly deactivated the account before later reactivating it. 6 months after the post went viral, he was arrested yesterday while flying into Los Angeles. He's currently being held at the Ventura County's Sheriff's Jail. And it's funny because when I lived in LA, this was a guy that I followed whenever there was like wildfire season. This is a guy I followed. I had him on a list because he was like shouting out where the different road closures and when a new blaze would pick up somewhere. He was on top of it. And this is what he looks like.
The U.S. Secret Service confirmed visiting a Southside school as part of an investigation into a threat. Initially, Chicago Public Schools, or CPS, reported that the agents were from the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement.
So, he has now been arrested. More from Homeland Security. President Trump has fought tooth and nail for years to kill the dangerous diversity visa lottery. In 2017, Trump demanded Congress end the program after an ISIS terrorist, who was a diversity visa lottery winner, murdered 8 in the New York City truck attack. Trump ripped the diversity lottery as, quote, a Chuck Schumer beauty. Our favorite Palestinian senator. From 2017 to 2021, he backed the RAISE Act to eliminate the lottery and shift to merit-based immigration, a move that was blocked by congressional Democrats. In 2019, POTUS imposed a passport requirement, slashing applications, a move that was blocked by an activist judge. In 2020, POTUS suspended all diversity visa processing to protect Americans. Then Biden revived this security disaster, and now Americans are again dead because of it. The guy who did the shooting at Brown University and supposedly also killed this MIT scientist, he is a Portuguese national who entered the country through a diversity visa. USCIS, shortly after that tweet, says at the direction of President Trump and Secretary Noem, USCIS is immediately suspending its role in the diversity visa program to protect Americans from criminal aliens. This dangerous program continues to raise significant security concerns as it can attract the worst of the worst from participating countries. America cannot continue importing terrorists, murderers, and lawbreakers through this program. Do you know what I see here? I see here not just an administration that's not doing anything, but an administration that is capitalizing on every act of violence by the left or its minions to ratchet down even further. Every time something happens, there's a response. And you could say that that response is only happening because it happened, or you could say they have that response ready in the event that something happens. So we have a terror attack in the Afghani guy who shot the National Guard, the National Guard members, and after that, they basically banned all immigration from like 40 countries. Effectively over the course of several policy changes they made. Now, we have another guy involved in a shooting, and he is the pretext for shutting down completely the diversity visa program. Now, it has to be ended by Congress, but they're picking a fight here now. They're saying, we're going to stop processing these. We're going to pretend it doesn't even exist, and you can do something about it. We've determined, for the sake of national security, that this must happen. And the ball is in Congress's court. The Trump administration has suspended the U.S. green card lottery, the DV1 program, following a deadly shooting linked to a lottery recipient. The suspect, Claudio Neves Valente, a Portuguese national who entered the U.S. via the diversity visa lottery and later obtained a green card, is accused in shootings at Brown University and MIT. The DV1 lottery normally awards up to 50,000 green cards a year to people from countries underrepresented in U.S. immigration. Notice, the H-1B is a visa. This is a green card. We're talking about going from just an immigrant on a visa to actually having a green card. So up to 50,000 of these a year are awarded randomly, and this is to countries that are underrepresented in U.S. immigration. So, like, definitionally, the types of immigrants we don't want are just randomly getting up to 50,000 visas a year. Sorry, green cards a year. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem said such individuals should never have been allowed in our country. Nearly 20 million people applied for the 2025 lottery, with more than 131,000 selected before vetting. So they selected 131,000, and then they're going to vet out of those 131,000. And of course, that vetting wasn't being done in the past. So now, United States Citizenship and Immigration Services has completely shut down their role in processing these altogether. And then look at this. Mike Lee finally doing something good. He has introduced the Cartel Mark and Reprisal Reauthorization Act. The bill authorizes Trump to commission American operators under letters of marque to seize cartel property and persons on land or sea outside the U.S. So he introduced it to the Senate. Tim Burchett, another patriot, is introducing the House version. We're talking about bringing back privateers to go after the cartels. Mike Lee says, would you like to seize cartel assets as a privateer? My bill would allow the president to issue you a letter of marque. Time to take these pirates down. So there's no backing off of this. The administration's been under all this heat because of their bombing these cartel boats, and they're like, not only are we not going to stop, we are going to legally authorize privateers to go out there and take it to them as well. I don't know if this will actually get through, but if this does, holy shnikes. Think of the job opportunities. Think of all of the old boy vets out there who could go get a job working for a security company, patrolling for cartel members, taking them down and seizing and keeping their assets. Please, I just want one thing this Christmas. Please, Congress, pass the Cartel Mark and Reprisal Reauthorization Act. Frankly, I'm wondering if it even needs to be, if it has to be done congressionally. I didn't have time to go look into this, but I know that letters of marque and reprisal are something that's in, because this was an argument that I used to make when I used to argue with people about gun laws, that The fact that Congress can issue letters of marque and reprisal means, and it's like it's there directly in the Constitution. Letters of marque and reprisal meant that at the time the Constitution was written, letters of marque and reprisal meant that you would go to guys who privately owned warships, which were the equivalent of weapons of mass destruction at the time. A warship was like the nuke of the day. And they were privately owned. You just have guys who owned these warships, and then they could be authorized by Congress to go pursue pirates. So the idea that citizens couldn't own like a rifle because it's too shooty or whatever is absurd. But now we're talking about getting sick and vet bros on illegals. Yes. Please employ my vet bros to go after the illegals. Another big news. See, I'm going through all these things meanwhile, like the timeline is just melting down about stuff going on at AmFest and then Jeffrey Epstein stuff, and all of this stuff is happening. And all of the people who are spending all of their time fighting over all the drama regarding those things will look at you with a straight face and say nothing else is happening. The administration isn't doing anything. A couple days ago, the Senate confirmed 97 President Trump nominees in a 53-43 vote. Almost a year into his administration, the Senate is still confirming nominees. And these aren't just nobodies either. Look at this from the Rapid Response account. 97 more President Trump's nominees. The Senate has now confirmed 417 of his nominees since January, far outpacing Biden's first year. Here are those 97 most recently confirmed nominees. Assistant Secretary of Labor, General Counsel for DHS, Undersecretary for Science and Technology at DHS, Deputy Undersecretary of Defense, Assistant Secretary of the Navy, Director of Operational Test and Evaluation for the DoD. DoD? Come on, rapid response account. Probably just copied and pasted this from some other list. General Counsel of the Department of the Navy, Assistant Secretary of HUD, Assistant Secretary of HUD, Assistant Secretary for Terrorist Financing, Department of the Treasury, Assistant Secretary of the Treasury for Investment Security, U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Louisiana, Assistant Secretary of Labor for Veterans Employment and Training, Deputy Undersecretary of the Treasury, Deputy Undersecretary of the Treasury, General Counsel of the National Labor Relations Board, Assistant Secretary of Labor. A lot of these are like second-tier cabinet positions or DAs, ambassadors, special envoys. Jack's complete lack of ice.
Those who want to live, let them fight, and those who do not want to fight in this world of eternal struggle do not deserve to live. I don't care who you are, where you're from, what you did. I don't care who you are, as long as you love me.
So true, so true. Thank you, Jack's complete lack of ice. The $5 tip. Assistant Attorney General, Inspector General for the Department of Agriculture, Inspector General for the Department of Health and Human Services. I believe the Inspector General would be responsible for, might be responsible for prosecuting certain things on behalf of these departments. I'm not totally sure. What's this one? Ambassador to the Kingdom of Spain and to serve concurrently and without additional compensation as ambassador to the Principality of Andorra. Ambassador to the Republic of South Africa. Chief Agricultural Negotiator for the Office of the U.S. Trade Representative. So he's been working all of these different deals, and he doesn't have the Chief Agricultural Negotiator for the Office of the U.S. Trade Representative. He has been working short-staffed all of this time. Think about all the different things that we've gone through. The Director of the Mint, Federal Maritime Commissioner. Think about all the different things we've gone through about everything that they've done. And they've been doing this while they're short-staffed. There's still so many more to come after this. This was just another batch of them. This guy here says, I don't believe President Trump took credit for this in his address to the nation. However, he has cut the federal deficit by 27% over the same period last year during the end of the Biden administration. That is real power. So the federal deficit for fiscal year 2026 is $450 billion year to date through November of 2025, which is $166 billion lower than the $624 billion year to date deficit at the same point in fiscal year of 2025. So from the beginning of the fiscal year, which I believe was October, so basically for the first 2 months last year, so for the first 2 months last year, the deficit was already at $624 billion. This year, it's under $500 billion to this point. I'm sure part of this is because of the government shutdown, but there were a number of things that were shut down in the government shutdown that were not re-upped again. This one's very interesting. So you might have heard some of the hewing and crying about the National Defense Authorization Act that was just signed, that there was a whole bunch of stuff that they put in there that's oh so very bad. They snuck some stuff in there, you might say. Things like that would deepen our commitments in various aspects of the world or provide funding for things that we'd rather they not be funded. I saw people who were dooming about this, and frankly, I didn't even really look into it or try to confirm anything because I was like, yeah, I don't expect that literally everything is going to be absolutely perfect. Yes, when there's some massive bit of legislation passed, there's going to be pork and poison pills and all sorts of shit in there, and we just got to deal with it as it comes. I'm not going to freak out about it. But look at this. Here's the president's signing statement. Today, I have signed into law. I don't know what S stands for. S. The National Defense Authorization Act for fiscal year 2026. The act authorizes fiscal year appropriations for the Department of War, the Department of Energy National Security Programs, the Department of State, the Department of Homeland Security, the intelligence community, and other executive departments and agencies. The act will enable the Department of War to carry out my peace through strength agenda, protect the homeland from domestic and foreign threats, and strengthen the defense industrial base while eliminating funding for wasteful and radical programs that undermine the warfighting ethos of our nation's men and women in uniform. Importantly, the act codifies aspects of over a dozen executive orders and actions taken by my administration. Remember people talking about the executive orders? Getting Trump's executive orders codified? A bunch of them have been codified already. Importantly, let's see here. Executive orders and actions taken by my administration, including those focused on warfighter lethality, advancing homeland missile defense by fully supporting the Golden Dome for America plan, the Golden Drome, you might say, restoring America's airspace sovereignty, and providing federal recognition of the Lumbee tribe of North Carolina. Alrighty. Over the next 3 years, the United States will host numerous major events that necessitate new authorities to combat emerging security threats. The act includes the critical Safer Skies Act, which provides state and local law enforcement with the authority to protect against unmanned aircraft when they present a threat to the public, and creates a new felony offense for the second violation of national defense airspace. In addition, the act provides key resources to ensure the continued security of the southern border from illegal immigration and transnational criminal organizations. Although I am pleased to support the critical objectives of the act, I note that certain provisions of the act raise concerns. And I don't know that I've ever seen this before, where the executive is issuing a proclamation directly pertaining to legislation that was just passed that he just signed. Certain provisions of the act, including sections blah, purport to dictate the position of the United States in external military and foreign affairs. My administration will treat these provisions consistent with the President's constitutional authority as Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces and the President's constitutional authority to conduct the foreign affairs of the United States, which includes the authority to recognize foreign sovereigns. Yes, setting the stage for the line item veto. That's right, Mellon. He's saying there's certain sections here that purport to tell me what I can and can't do in external military and foreign affairs. And he's saying my administration will treat those provisions consistent with my constitutional authority in those areas. In other words, meaning we're not going to comply with those things. We're going to comply with those things if we agree with them. If we don't, we're not going to. And you can sue us about it. Several provisions of the Act, including sections blah, purport to require the president to submit information to the Congress, such as deliberative process and national security information, protected by long-recognized legal privileges. My administration will treat these provisions consistent with the president's constitutional authority to withhold information, the disclosure of which could impair foreign relations, national security, the deliberative processes of the executive branch, and the performance of the president's constitutional duties. The only reason that you say something like this is if you are planning to withhold information from Congress, the disclosure of which could impair foreign relations, national security, the deliberative processes of the executive branch, and the performance of the president's constitutional duties. Additionally, Section 1622 of the Act purports to require my administration to provide the Congress with sensitive national security information on programs, operations, actions, and activities that become compromised or fail. And Section 6504 of the Act purports to require the granting of security clearances to certain persons. So if we have programs, operations, actions, or activities that become compromised or fail, then Congress wants that information, sensitive national security information, legally forced to be provided to them, as well as specific people being required to have their security clearances granted. He says again, my administration will implement these provisions only to the extent they are consistent with the president's constitutional authority to control the dissemination of sensitive national security information. You can see the sorts of poison pills they tried to slip in here. Several provisions of the Act, including these sections, purport to restrict the president's authority to control the personnel and materiel the president believes to be necessary or advisable for the successful conduct of military missions. While I share the objectives of the Congress with respect to remaining the strength and security of the United States, my administration will implement these provisions consistent with the president's authority as commander-in-chief. There's a theme in here, which is basically that the military falls under my control, not yours. Other provisions of the Act, including these sections, purport to require that the Congress receive a certification, notification, or report before the president directs certain military or diplomatic actions, including the withdrawal of troops below a minimum number in particular theaters. I reiterate the long-standing understanding of the executive branch that such provisions encompass only actions for which such advanced certification, notification, report is feasible and consistent with the president's constitutional authorities as commander-in-chief and his authority to conduct the foreign affairs of the United States. So, if you want me to tell you ahead of time, before I direct certain military or diplomatic actions, including the withdrawal of troops below a minimum number in particular theaters, I'm not going to do that. Next section purports to restrict funding until my administration completes actions to realign certain organizational units related to nuclear weapons platforms, delivery systems, and communication systems, and provides notice to the Congress. This other section similarly purports to restrict funding for the Office of the Secretary of the Air Force until my administration notifies the Congress that certain authorities have been delegated within the national defense apparatus. My administration will treat these provisions consistent with the president's exclusive constitutional authorities as commander-in-chief and will interpret them in a manner so as not to impair the president's ability to manage the executive branch. In other words, you can tell me all you want that you're going to restrict this funding, but Scott Bessent decides which funding is and is not going to be released. A number of other provisions, including a whole long list here, purport to require the president or executive branch officials under the president's supervision to recommend certain legislative measures to the Congress. My administration will treat these provisions consistent with Article 2, Section 3 of the Constitution, which grants the president the discretion to recommend to the Congress, quote, such measures as he shall judge necessary and expedient, end quote, if any. So they were going to require the president or executive branch officials to recommend certain legislative measures to the Congress. These motherfuckers. We are going to force you, under penalty of law, we are going to bind you by law that obligates you to make certain recommendations to Congress. So then Congress can say, well, the executive branch made these recommendations, and we're just complying. And Trump's like, no, I'm not going to do that. I may have signed your legislation so that I got my funding. Yeah, you got it passed. But I'm going to exert executive authority over all of these things, and I'm not going to comply with any of that. I can almost guarantee that this is going to turn into some sort of a scandal later on, where Congress tries to get all mad about him doing one of these things, And it turns into yet another fight over the unitary executive. Last one. This section purports to require the submission of budget requests to the Congress in particular forms or to advance particular objectives. As the Constitution grants the president the discretion to recommend, quote, such measures as he shall judge necessary and expedient, end quote, if any, my administration will interpret this provision in a manner so as not to impair the president's ability to manage the executive branch. These sneaky little bastards. Let's see if there was any interesting replies in here. Yeah, nothing. Okay. So, yeah, as Unseen One here said, seems their attempt to limit the president with a must-pass bill didn't work out as well as they thought it would. Turns out you could just ignore things. Trump is putting markers down for SCOTUS. Maybe we'll get the line item veto this time. Actually, I'll just follow the Constitution. Thanks, though. Okay. Now here's a couple things on the War Department, and I just wanted, the reason I wanted to show this is because this is a reminder of just how far we've come. That this is the sort of symbolism and messaging and culture being cultivated by the War Department.
John chapter 1, and the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us. Born in Bethlehem 2,000 years ago, the greatest story ever told. And the best part about it is, it's a true story.
I know every single day you face unthinkable and maybe even seemingly impossible obstacles as you protect the freedoms that we enjoy. And I just want you to know that there are so many people lifting you up in prayer and committing to pray for each and every one of you daily.
Isaiah 9:6 reads, "For to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder. And in his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace."
I'm so grateful to God for each and every one of you, and so grateful for the sacrifices that you make.
For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. God bless you, and a Merry Christmas to each and every one.
Man, he's looking old. And then this. That's just kind of like, I mean, that stuff matters. Inviting that sort of spirit into the War Department matters. But this is significant. From Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth. Yeah, Cynical Publius says, this is the sort of winning the Trump administration achieves daily. It goes under the news radar, but is transformational in the best way possible. Enjoy. Listen to this.
I'm here to tell you about a real problem facing our nation's military. It's one you're probably not aware of, but it's a really important one. And it's been going on for far too long. The weakening of our chaplain corps. You see, chaplains are intended to be the spiritual and moral backbone of our nation's forces. George Washington established the chaplain corps in 1775, one of his first actions as General of the Continental Army. Congress authorized chaplains for the Navy that very same year. In Washington's general orders, he explained their importance, quote, "The blessing and protection of heaven are at all times necessary, but especially so in times of public distress and danger." For about 200 years, the Chaplain Corps continued its role as the spiritual leader of our service members, serving our men and women in times of hardship and ministering to their souls. But sadly, as part of the ongoing war on warriors, in recent decades, its role has been degraded. In an atmosphere of political correctness and secular humanism, chaplains have been minimized, viewed by many as therapists instead of ministers. Faith and virtue were traded for self-help and self-care. If you need proof, just look at the current Army Spiritual Fitness Guide. In well over...
Yeah, secular humanism dropped. We've got a Secretary of War talking about secular humanism. Han says, this is great and I love Pete Hegseth, but every guy that I work with in the military mocks that kind of stuff as either inauthentic pandering or at worst views it as a threat to their perception of a neutral culture America's supposed to have regarding religion. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure that's the case. That's fine. That's fine. They're going to be waterboarded with it.
100 pages, it mentions God one time. That's it. It mentions feelings 11 times. It even mentions playfulness.
Chaplains don't care about your feelings.
Whatever that is, 9 times. There's zero mention of virtue. The guide relies on New Age notions, saying that the soldier's spirit consists of consciousness, creativity, and connection. The guide itself reports that around 82% of the military are religious, yet ironically it alienates our warfighters of faith by pushing secular humanism.
Again!
In short, it's unacceptable and unserious, so we're tossing it. I have a directive.
All my homies hate New Age notions.
Right here, that I will sign today to eliminate the use of the Army Spiritual Fitness Guide effective immediately. These types of training materials have no place in the War Department. Our chaplains are chaplains, not emotional support officers, and we're going to treat them as such. That's why today, at my direction, we are also simplifying the faith and belief coding system. In recent years, it ballooned to over 200 overly complex faith and belief codes. An overwhelming majority of the military population only uses 6 codes. 11 are not used by anyone. So we're going to streamline it and move it to a new list of religious affiliation codes so that our chaplains can actually use it to minister better to the flock. More reforms will be coming in the days and weeks ahead. There will be a top-down cultural shift, putting spiritual well-being on the same footing as mental and physical health, as a first step toward creating a supportive environment for our warriors and their souls. We're going to restore the esteemed position of chaplains as moral anchors for our fighting force. The 1956 Army Chaplains Manual states, quote, "The chaplain is the pastor and the shepherd of the souls entrusted to his care," end quote. This is a high and sacred calling, but this only works if our shepherds are actually given the freedom to boldly guide and care for their flock. Stay tuned for more. We are going to make the Chaplain Corps great again. And Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas! Oh. See, you can't talk to me about the loss of American tradition and the secularization of society and Christ is King. You can't talk to me about all that stuff and then just sort of poo-poo when you have the Secretary of War coming out and explicitly denouncing secular humanism and saying, we are going to make the Chaplain Corps great again and begin caring intentionally for the souls of our warriors. This is tremendous. You can't, don't let this stuff just slide and just kind of ignore it. That's how you actually make it of little effect. You're just like, whatever, that stuff doesn't count. That doesn't matter. All of these things matter. And again, I've got more coming here from different sections of the federal government. This isn't like they're just focusing on one particular area. They're making leaps and bounds strides across the board. Here's the education secretary. Linda McMahon says, your boos mean nothing. I've seen what makes you cheer.
I hear that they want to cut those student loans give them as tax cuts to their billionaire friends.
Make no mistake, this is an all-out assault on public education.
I think that this administration just doesn't like children.
Your boos mean nothing. I've seen what makes you cheer.
Really grateful to the secretary that she joined us. Thank you. She's here. Perhaps I should give her the podium.
Look at my McMahon American. RFK Jr. announces that he's signing a directive banning transgender surgeries for minors nationwide.
Doctors assume a solemn obligation to protect children. Yet doctors across the country now provide needless and irreversible sex-rejecting procedures that violate their sacred Hippocratic oath by endangering the very lives that they are sworn to safeguard. The American Medical Association, the American Academy of Pediatrics, peddled the lie that chemical and surgical sex-rejecting procedures could be good for children who suffer from gender dysphoria. They betrayed the estimated 300,000 American youth ages 13 to 17, conditioned to believe that sex can be changed.
Yeah, sex-rejecting procedures is very, very good framing. These aren't gender-affirming, they're sex-rejecting.
They betrayed their Hippocratic oath to do no harm. So-called gender-affirming care has inflicted lasting physical and psychological damage on vulnerable young people. This is not medicine, it is malpractice. We're done with junk science driven by ideological pursuits, not the well-being of children. A peer-reviewed report published by the HHS Office of the Assistant Secretary for Health last month confirms that sex-rejecting procedures impose medical dangers and lasting harm on children who receive these interventions. So today we are taking 6 decisive actions, guided by gold standard science and the week 1 executive order from President Trump to protect children from chemical and surgical mutilation.
Thank you, Mr. President.
This morning I signed a declaration. Sex-rejecting procedures are neither safe nor effective treatment for children with gender dysphoria.
That's just the first thing. Look at this. The U.S. House just passed legislation to criminalize transgender sex transitions on minors, including surgeries, puberty blockers, and hormone therapy. 207 Democrats and 4 Republicans voted against it. Who are the 4 Republicans? Gabe Evans, of course. Of course, a guy named Gabe voted against it from Colorado. Gabe Evans, Brian Fitzpatrick, Mike Lawler, and Mike Kennedy. Utah, New York, Pennsylvania, and Colorado. Pathetic. But there's more. This is FDA Commissioner Marty McCary. They are targeting the transgender industrial complex.
Today, the FDA is taking action. We are sending warning letters to 12 manufacturers and retailers for illegal marketing of breast binders for children for the purposes of treating gender dysphoria.
Welcome to the
Breast
Gulag.
binders
If
are
you
a
survive,
Class 1
you
medical
earn your freedom.
Mrs. Kingpilled, there you go. You got your sub back. Thank you, Skrudovnevsky. You're a patriot. Let's see. Where is... where's the one I'm looking for here? Oh, where is it? Where is it? I can't find it. We'll just do this one.
Faggot? Yeah. I just did. But would you faggot. Okay.
Device with legitimate medical users, such as being used by women after breast cancer surgery. And these binders are not benign. Long-term usage has been associated with pain, compromised lung function from atelectasis collapse, and even difficulty breastfeeding later in life.
We need to stop with the breast binders so that our young girls can breastfeed later in life. This is the position of the FDA commissioner.
The warning letters will formally notify the companies of their significant regulatory violations and require prompt corrective action.
Prompt corrective action. So 12 manufacturers have been told, stop marketing breast binders for transgender children, or federal government's coming after you. Having been called a liar by, this is from HealthBot, having been called a liar by Anthony Fauci for saying that, quote, not one of the 72 vaccines mandated for children has ever been safety tested, RFK Jr. sued Fauci. After a year of stonewalling, Fauci's lawyers admitted that RFK Jr. had been right all along.
I was saying no, for many years, I was saying not one of the 72 vaccines mandated for children has ever been safety tested in pre-licensing placebo-controlled trials, not one. Tony Fauci was saying he's lying. In 2016, President Trump appointed me to run a vaccine safety commission.
And he ordered Fauci and Collins to meet with me with White House counsel, present. And I said to Fauci at that meeting, you say I'm lying. For 8 years, you've been saying I'm lying about this. Show me this study. And he said, I don't have it here. It's back in Bethesda. And I'll send it to you. I never got it. So I sued him.
Tony Fauci mentioned.
Get that ugly, disabled freak away from me. I don't want to look at his fucked up face. His smushed in, garbled, baby, disabled face. I don't want to look at it.
Me and Aaron Siri, and after stonewalling us for a year, their lawyers met us on the courthouse steps and said, yep, you're right. We never had any study. And they gave it to us in writing. You can go to the CHD website, my website, and you can see that letter from HHS. There's no downstream liability. There's no front-end safety testing. That saves them $250 million. And there's no marketing and advertising costs because the federal government is ordering them ordering 78 million school kids to take that vaccine every year. What better product could you have? And so there was a gold rush.
It's so just staggeringly criminal. People talk about the effects of fentanyl, and they compare the death toll of fentanyl to like the Civil War or World War II. You couldn't even begin to tally up the death toll, and not just the death toll, but the quality of life toll from this industry.
All these new vaccines to the schedule that we don't need. Most of these vaccines are unnecessary. Many of them are for diseases that are not even casually contagious. It was a gold rush. Because if you get onto that schedule, the recommended schedule, it's $1 billion a year for your company. And in many cases, NIH is bearing the royalties. So we got all of these new vaccines, 72 shots, 16 vaccines, and now even more because we're doing the HPV vaccine. And that year, 1989, we saw an explosion in chronic disease in American children. The neurological diseases suddenly exploded in 1989. ADD, ADHD, sleep disorders, language delays, ASD, autism, Tourette syndrome, tics, narcolepsy. These are all things that I never heard of. Autism went from 1 in 10,000 in my generation, according to the CDC data, to 1 in every 34 kids today.
1 in 10,000 to 1 in 34. So with that, having said that, look at this. Breaking news from WAPO, the Trump administration plans to shift the federal government away from directly recommending most vaccines for children and suggest parents consult with doctors to make their own vaccine choices. I don't give a flying fuck about no Epstein list. You've got to be out of your mind if you are spurging out on the internet today about the Epstein list. We've got officially, formally, from the Trump administration, that the federal government is not going to directly recommend most vaccines for children and is going to suggest that parents consult directly with doctors. A couple of years ago, there was legitimate cause to be concerned that you were going to be arrested for this. There were people who were arrested for this and had their children taken away from them. Doctors who had their licenses pulled for practicing this. And now it's coming directly from the federal government, on top of everything else. I feel like I have to keep saying that. Because we spend a lot of time here focused on like the economy and immigration and global finance, those sorts of things. And that's what everyone really tends to focus a lot on. But here we've got the War Department, the FDA, the entire health apparatus of the entire of the federal government, and more. Air traffic control. Let's get a little Sean Duffy appearance here.
So, in essence, we've increased the capacity of air traffic controllers through our training school by 20% year over year this year. We are making up the deficit. I think what you're going to see, Maria, is that as we bring this new technology on, and you mentioned Peraton, we have a project manager that's going to build our new air traffic control system. We realize that after 20 years of trying to upgrade the system, the FAA, they're great at safety. They're not great at building things. And so we're going to bring in an outside contractor to do the work for us, to help us manage this massive project. So I feel really great on the implementation of air traffic control. And if we implement this project over the next 3 years, I think it's our controllers that we do have are going to be more effective. But I think we're going to come close to the number. Also, we have great air traffic controllers who are about to retire. We've asked them to stay on the job. Don't retire. We'll give you a 20% upfront cash bonus to stay on the job. So we're looking at every angle.
So they're overhauling the entire air traffic control system for the entire country. And as part of this, they've rapidly upscaled hiring, and they're paying 20% cash bonus to established air traffic control veterans to get them to stay on to bridge the gap.
To keep more controllers in our towers, to make sure we control the airspace. And what happens is if you don't have enough controllers, you see the ones we do have, they work overtime. They work 6 days a week, and a lot of hours in a shift. And
that's not something you want with air traffic controllers.
And we saw this during the shutdown when people didn't come in. We started to reduce the capacity of the airspace, and you saw a lot of delays from that.
Yeah,
because safety comes first.
Yeah,
there are so many different projects that they have underway that are going to comprehensively change what life is like in the United States. All they need is time. They just need time to keep this project going without it getting disrupted and diverted into other priorities. Just maintain. We need 12 years of Trump. And JD will serve as a fantastic proxy for 8 of that. Maybe even better. Just give us that continuity. I do not care about anything else. Give us 12 years of continuity on all of these things. The medical establishment, immigration, infrastructure, finance, rare earths, reindustrialization, all of these things. Just give us continuity for 12 years. And the way that this will begin compounding on itself will put us in a completely different world. Completely. Most people don't remember how bad things seemed, how depressed people were, like relieved but depressed in 1945. You'd had the Great Depression. You had a stock market crash. You had the Great Depression. You had World War II. So many young men died. They came back, started having babies, and kaboom. It took 15 years and they were in an entirely different world. Just give us continuity. Don't interrupt it. Don't interrupt the good thing while it's happening. Here, from the Darth Vader of OMB, Russ Vogt says the National Science Foundation will be breaking up the National Center for Atmospheric Research in Boulder, Colorado. This facility is one of the largest sources of climate alarmism in the country. A comprehensive review is underway, and any vital activities, such as weather research, will be moved to another entity or location. Oh, they're just, you can't even keep up with all these things. Now we're dissolving and defunding and relocating enemy strongholds on climate that are stuck in blue states. Here's what you get, Colorado, for having a Soros DA and a cucked out gay governor, for being California East. This is what you get. Think about Like, not only is this a shot at climate alarmism, which is dead at this point, this is also, I don't even know how much funding were they getting? Even the public numbers. National Center for Atmospheric Research funding. Core funding from NSF to NCAR in fiscal year 2025, which ended on September 30th, was around $123 million, or roughly half of their total budget. So there's $123 million, along with a bunch of other stuff, taken back from Colorado. Remember, what was the other thing? That there was some major project that they diverted away that was going to Colorado, and it got diverted away to Huntsville. I can't remember what it was now. Yeah, the phrase climate alarmism is notable. Remember how much power climate change denier gave them. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was the Space Center. Yeah. So Colorado is getting, if you're going to be a blue state, if you're going to fight us, your state is going to get gutted economically until your people are demanding your overthrow. This administration knows how to fight. They know how to play the long game. You just need to give them the long game. Here's a great lesson on trusting. Jared Isaacman just recently confirmed to be the new NASA administrator. This was back in May. You remember he was originally nominated, and then Trump and Elon had their blow up, and Trump withdrew his nomination. Apparently, and it sounded like Sergio Gore had something to do with that. Elon hated him. Shortly after, he got reassigned from being in charge of like presidential personnel to he was made the ambassador to India. Oh, I think I know where that one is. Oh, I thought I did. Oh, yeah.
Good morning, bastards!
So after his nomination was withdrawn, this is what Jared Isaacman said. I'm incredibly grateful to President Trump, the Senate, and all those who supported me throughout this journey. The past 6 months have been enlightening and honestly a bit thrilling. I've gained a much deeper appreciation for the complexities of government and the weight our political leaders carry. It may not always be obvious through the discourse and turbulence, but there are many competent, dedicated people who love this country and care deeply about the mission. That was on full display during my hearing, where leaders on both sides of the aisle made clear they're willing to fight for the world's most accomplished space agency. The president, NASA, and the American people deserve the very best. An administrator ready to reorganize, rebuild, and rally the best and brightest minds to deliver the world-changing headlines NASA was built to create. I do think that it's kind of funny the way he phrased this. Delivering the world-changing headlines NASA was built to create. They were built to create headlines? Interesting. I have not flown my last mission, whatever form that may ultimately take, but I remain incredibly optimistic that humanity's greatest spacefaring days lie ahead. I'll always be grateful for this opportunity and cheering on our president and NASA as they lead us on the greatest adventure in human history. Incredibly gracious. Extremely gracious for what was, I'm sure, disappointing, kind of humiliating, very awkward and uncomfortable. And here we go, 6 months later, he has now been confirmed and is the new NASA administrator. Hans Monkey said, the Isaacman saga is a textbook object lesson in how good temperament leads to good outcomes. When his nomination was pulled in May after the Elon-Trump feud, Isaacman did not run to the New York Times to trash President Trump. Instead, he tweeted the gracious and positive statement below, expressing his continued support for the president and his agenda. Now he has ended up with the job after all, one for which he is uniquely qualified. Well done all around. Well done indeed. All right. Now, it's almost time. It is almost time for us to ASTROLABE. The wave is next. I am going to throw you guys on, we're going to do a little intermission here. I got to stop the recording and start a new recording. And I'm going to go to the bathroom, grab something to drink, smoke a quick cigarette, and then come back so that we can wave. So let me make sure this is set up and ready to go. I'm going to end the recording here. So if you're just listening to this later on, this will go out on YouTube and on the podcatchers and everything. So thank you for listening to the show. Please do remember to tip your streamer. You can do it at all hours of the day, either using the Streamlabs link at tips.kingpill.com or King Pilled on Cash App and Venmo. Appreciate you guys helping fund our way through the Christmas season. I know that money is tight right now, but you guys have been very generous. Very grateful for that. As always, the Labe is streamed on Kick, and it seems like this has worked well. I've had 0 dropped frames on the stream itself, so it's been high quality the entire way through. Seems like everything has worked well. And I even took a risk and decided to do it on 1080 instead of... I was going to drop it back to 720 and see, but it has worked on 1080. So this is very good to see. Please do leave a 5-star rating and review if you're listening on the podcatchers. And make sure you're following the King Pilled Substack. Go follow the King Pilled Telegram channel as well. And join the King Pilled Discord, kingpilled.com. I will be back... And for those of you who are watching live, I'll be back in just a few minutes so that we can watch the... I'll keep the stream going on Kick, and I'll just throw it over to to EWBSX. And for those of you who are listening, if you would like to watch the Pseudolabe later on, the place to do that will be on Substack, King Pilled Substack. That's where I will upload the recording for it. So let me stop this recording. I realized that the people who get this one, they never get the stream quality was this high. They never get the Hulk outro, and I suppose I could give you that, but it would just feel like no, it's supposed to be done then. So you don't get the Hulk outro on this one. You'll get it at the end of the Pseudolabe. So thank you guys for listening. I'm going to stop the recording now.